Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? Steve and Kia from On the Ring Apron here, giving you our reaction to Clash of Champions tonight, and we had to take a minute to get out of our feelings for the end of that last match. The Tribal Chief, going to work.
I just don't know what to say. Like, I get, family knows you better than anybody else, but for you to take it as far as you did, asking Jay to call you the chief, we already get it. You're the big dog. You run the yard. You're the tribal chief. You have your own island, but you don't have to make people sit here and say that. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it.
I disagree. I think it's the chief. I think you got to make sure it's not just that you are the chief. You need everyone to acknowledge you're the chief.
Well, the chief looked like he was kind of struggling here and there when Jay kind of got the upper hand on him, but, it is what it is.
But amidst all things, 8 championship matches tonight. I guess technically 9 if you include the second 24/7 title match. Only officially one new champion tonight, and even Sammy would dispute that, winning what ended up being probably the match of the night, and that's the Intercontinental title match that was at the very beginning. Just a lot of sadistic and a lot of nasty stuff in that match with ultimately the smart man coming out the victor.
But didn't I call it? Didn't I say that dude had something in his head, up his sleeve? I said it.
Yeah, apparently it was handcuffs.
I said it yesterday on a video. Said he's going to be the smartest of the three, and he's going to have something that nobody else is going to expect. And lo and behold, it was sick and it was gruesome to see him put the handcuffs through Jeff Hardy's earlobe. That backfired.
I just didn't want to see Jeff Hardy come out and all of a sudden his lobe is loose or something like that.
Or ripped off the side of his face or something. But that was smart.
Sammy winning the title, or retaining, I guess, based on your point of view. And then with the exception of Truth losing the title to Drew Gulak temporarily, but then the Prospector Truth winning it back later in the evening. Basically, every champion retained their titles. A little bit of bad news with the whole news with Nikki Cross not being medically cleared, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax unable to defend. It's unconfirmed at the moment. They think Shayna got COVID, but they're going to have to see how all that plays out. So we'll have to see what their condition is and what that means for the titles.
But let's not forget the other women's match. Asuka having to go up against Zelina. Zelina looked really good tonight.
She did. She looked great.
She looked strong, but we kind of already knew going in that Asuka was going to retain. Asuka has been here. She's been where it's the brightest, so she knows what to do, and she's pretty much run through
she's that level?
Yeah.
Everybody else trying to Zelina trying to level up?
She's already run through all of the roster, but to see her come out and try to take on Bayley, because Bayley at that point had gotten cocky about, having the title as long as she had without losing it.
Yeah. And then it ends up being Bayley cheating her way to, disqualifying herself, but then the return of the boss, Sasha, still in the neck brace, but managing to get a little bit of revenge. You smell Hell in a Cell coming up, and honestly, unless they set up some big story with Roman, that needs to main event Hell in a Cell.
If it doesn't, that'll be a shame, because honestly, even with her being injured and with her being hurt, she still came out and played a role somehow, saying, we were friends, we're former best friends, you're letting this, title go to your head, it's come over our friendship, you called me the weakest link. You can kind of tell it's brewing in her face. Again, like she stated, she created this monster, now she's got to technically put the monster down.
She got to destroy what she created. Both tag championships staying with their current owners amidst some controversy with the Raw titles. That cost me a perfect pay-per-view. It's the only match I missed. Is the Street Profits retaining in controversial fashion. It looked like clearly Andrade kicked out, but they rung the bell anyway and had the Profits retain the titles.
If I'm incorrect, I think that's the same ref that botched, I think, the women's match with
Nikki and Asuka.
Yeah, so honestly, I think they need to go ahead and actually send that ref back to NXT, let him get a little bit more practice, and then bring him back. But what I saw is Dawkins had him covered for a 2 count. Andrade kicked out. I could not see Andrade's expression, but for me, and I guess for anybody else that was kind of rooting for Angel Garza and Andrade, yeah, they'd be kind of disappointed. Nothing wrong with the Street Profits. I'm happy for them, but the way it happened, I don't think the ref was technically doing his job like he should have.
Exactly. The Hurt Business, keeping their U.S. title. Bobby Lashley dominating Apollo Crews, a definite game effort. And then, of course, we can't, not talk about the brutal ambulance match that you had. Orton's demons and ghosts coming back to haunt him. as Christian, Big Show, and Shawn Michaels, along with Ric Flair with a cameo at the end. But ultimately, Orton and all the people he had kicked finally coming back to make him pay for his sins. Drew able to retain the WWE Championship in a hard-fought match. You just everybody's leaving this pay-per-view tonight with cuts and bruises. Nobody's coming out of this in one piece.
Oh goodness gracious! And just for it to be, what it was. So technically, going into this, I was really upset because I was looking forward to all of the women's matches. But tonight they did not disappoint. Some people might, say they did for a certain reason or another. But I mean, I got into it. I was emotional through, I think, all of them. And then seeing Sasha come out in that neck brace, I still can't. That's just a boss
that's
for
the
you.
boss. That's what the boss does. The boss isn't going to wait. The boss is coming out when she feels she's ready. So that's brewing for Hell in a Cell. I'm hoping it main events. I hope so. But, Clash of Champions, I wish we could have gotten you maybe a few more title changes for plate exchange, but only one title changing hands in terms of plates. We'll have to find some Sami Zayn plates and get those ready for you when we do. Plate exchange will happen. 4 weeks until Hell in a Cell. We do have TakeOver 31 next Sunday. So we'll have another pay-per-view-esque week, Top Rope spoilers. And then also the week following, they announced tonight, the WWE draft that they do every year. Kia and I are going to come up with something special for draft night. See if we can do something special for those 2-night events, starting with SmackDown on October 9th, following up on Raw on October 12th. A chance to break up some teams, move some people around to different rosters, and let's get this show started up with some fresh storylines. So a good back of the year. Honestly, a great pay-per-view. I thought Jay at the end gave his best, but I think it ended about the way you thought it would. I just thought Roman would go ahead and finish him instead. It's a matter of, power struggle.
It broke my heart to see, because, you assume that Jimmy would be at home in front of his TV watching this whole thing, but to see him, kind of hobbling or walking out and having a white towel in his hands, okay, he's going to throw in the flag at that point. So, and the fact that he, Jay was like, no, it's not going to happen. I don't want this to happen. It kind of reminds me of Dijakovic and Keith Lee when they had that match with Karrion Kross or whatever. So it's just showing you that the most dominant people will prevail.
Well, it's also just, again, a power struggle. It's not about being at the head of the table. It's about everyone else acknowledging you as the head of the table. So we'll see what ends up happening, and it had to break Jimmy's heart to be the one, because that Universal title had to mean everything for Jay to try to win that thing. So for Jimmy to come out and basically cost his brother, a chance, maybe his only shot at gold, had to break it. But at the end of the day, he wants his brother alive and well as well. And Roman was not going to stop, and Jay clearly was not going to
give up,
was not going to acknowledge him. So honestly, I enjoyed it. One of the better pay-per-views of the year. We'll see if Hell in a Cell lives up to the hype. But for all of you that took the time to join us, thank you very much.
We got to go back and tally these scores, and hopefully we're both tied.
One.
Calm down, Steve.
We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys. We'll see you guys later on this week. Kia has a fun quality time with the Queen. She's ranking her NXT champ, so be on the lookout for that. Plate exchange to put Sami Zayn's plates on there hopefully later this week if I can manage to make things work. And then, of course, on the ring apron, we'll be standing again to talk about TakeOver. So you guys have a good night.
Have a good night. Bye.